ownership right now?
My failures was because I didn't know about being a good dad and husband, and I thought I did. I really thought I did. And I misunderstood that. And I did it wrong in so many ways, and I hated being blamed for it. And so it made me resistant.
What kind of father openly admits he feels nothing for his own children? Today, we're diving into Kody Brown's most shocking confession yet, and trust me, you won't believe what he's about to reveal about his relationship with his kids. This isn't just family drama. This is psychological warfare. Welcome back to Special Forces, where we expose the truth behind the sister wives empire. What you're about to hear will fundamentally change how you view Kody Brown forever. In a recent explosive clip, Kody Brown made an admission so disturbing and calculated that even his staunchest defenders couldn't find excuses anymore. He did not just acknowledge problems with his children, he confessed to deliberately causing them pain. He admitted, in his own words, that he feels emotionally disconnected from his very own kids. But here's where it gets darker. This wasn't the slip of a tongue. This wasn't said in anger. This was a cold, calculated confession that exposes the true nature of what's been happening in the Brown family for years. The question isn't just why would a father say this, it's why would he say it now? What's his endgame? And more importantly, which children is he targeting and why? Let's connect the dots, as this confession didn't happen in a vacuum. Over the last few seasons, we have systematically watched Kody distance himself from some children while keeping others close. Coincidence? Hardly. This is a pattern, and patterns reveal intent. The Christine kids. When Christine left, Kody's relationship with Isabel, Gwendolyn, and Truly changed overnight. Remember Isabel's scoliosis surgery? The surgery where she begged her father to be there? Kody chose Robyn's comfort over his daughter's major medical procedure. When confronted about this, he showed no remorse, only justification. Gwendolyn has been incredibly vocal about her father's treatment on social media. She's used words like narcissist, manipulative, and absent. These aren't just angry teenage rants, these are testimonies from someone who lived inside the dysfunction. The Janelle kids, Gabriel and Garrison, have been particularly devastated by their father's rejection. During the COVID controversy, Kody implemented draconian rules that seemed designed specifically to keep him away from Janelle's children while staying close to Robyn's household. When the boys called out this obvious favoritism, Kody didn't just defend his position, he attacked them for daring to have emotional needs. Garrison, in heartbreaking confessionals, talked about losing his father completely. The pain in his eyes wasn't manufactured for television. That was real, deep-seated grief for a relationship that died while his father was still alive. The raw, painful confrontation between Gabriel and Kody was probably the most gut-wrenching in sister wives history. He said to his father, basically, "Why don't you love me?" And Kody's response? Defensiveness. Blame. Zero accountability. The Meri situation. While Meri technically only has one child with Kody Leon, formerly Mariah, the dynamic here is equally revealing. Leon has completely stepped back from their relationship with Kody in support of their mother through the years of emotional neglect and gaslighting. Now, here's where Kody's confession gets really sinister. When he feels nothing for his kids, he's not talking about all his kids. He is specifically speaking about the children from his failed marriages. Because mysteriously, Kody seems to have plenty of feelings for Robyn's children, both biological and adopted. Let's look at the striking difference. Robyn's kids get presence and attention daily. Financial priority. That mansion isn't paying for itself. Emotional validation and support. Public defense from both Kody and Robyn. COVID safety, protocols that kept dad close by. College funding and life support. A father who shows up, period. The other kids get conditional love based on compliance. Financial uncertainty and apparent neglect. Emotional abandonment masked as tough love, blame, and public criticism. Impossible COVID rules designed to create distance. Being blamed for the breakdown of the relationship. A father who vanished. That is not an accident. That's strategic emotional warfare, something to punish the mothers through the children. Kody uses his own kids as weapons in his divorce battles, and he's no longer even trying to hide that. The most chilling part? Robyn enables this. She sits silently while Kody eviscerates his other children. She benefits from their pain. She's built her favored wife status on the broken hearts of children who just wanted their dad. Let's talk about what Kody actually admitted when he said he deliberately hurts his children. That's not normal parental conflict. That's not I made mistakes territory. Kody is describing intentional emotional abuse. He knows he's causing pain, and he's aware his children are suffering. And he's making the conscious choice to continue. The Narcissistic Playbook. Psychologists specializing in narcissistic family dynamics have identified certain patterns that perfectly match Kody's behavior. Splitting, placing children in categories of good compliant and bad questioning. Triangulation, using children as pawns in adult conflicts. Emotional withdrawal as punishment, withdrawing love and attention when children do not obey. Darvo stands for deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, making himself the wounded party. Golden child/scapegoat dynamic, building up Robyn's kids and tearing down others. But here is what makes Kody's admission even more disturbing. Most narcissists would never openly admit to deliberately hurting their children. They maintain plausible deniability. They play the misunderstood victim. Kody's moved beyond that. He's so convinced of his own righteousness that he openly admits to causing pain, because in his twisted worldview, his children deserve that pain for not submitting to his authority. The religious manipulation. Let's not forget the polygamist, patriarchal framework that allowed this abuse to go on for decades. Kody was raised in a system where the word from the father is law, where questioning authority is spiritual rebellion, and where children, especially daughters, exist for the benefit of the family image. When his children finally grew up and started thinking for themselves, questioning the polygamy lifestyle, and supporting their mothers when they chose to leave him, that was the ultimate betrayal for Kody. Not because he loves them and feels hurt, but because they stopped being useful to his ego. His confession about feeling nothing reveals the truth. He never loved them as individuals. He loved what they represented, proof of his virility, his patriarch status, his ability to create and control a large family empire. But then they stopped playing their assigned roles, and they became worthless to him. And he punishes worthless things. Now, let's go back to concrete evidence of Kody's deliberate abandonment. Isabel's surgery, 2020. Major spinal surgery for severe scoliosis. Christine was forced to choose between her daughter and her sister wife. Kody refused to go, citing COVID concerns, yet continued daily contact with Robyn's household. He showed no emotion when discussing his daughter in pain. Made it about his inconvenience. The COVID weaponization, 2020 to 2021. Established impossible rules for Janelle and Christine's households. Rules that coincidentally kept him away from disobedient children. Different, relaxed rules for Robyn's house. Used safety as cover for pre-existing favoritism. Blamed the children when challenged for not respecting him. Garrison's nervous breakdown. Openly grieving the loss of his father. Desperate attempts at reconciliation were met with coldness. Kody responds, "I haven't given up on my kids, they've given up on me." Classic Darvo, turning himself into the victim. Gabriel's confrontation. Raw, vulnerable conversation where Gabriel begged for connection. Kody reacted with defensive anger. Blamed Gabriel for disrespecting him during COVID. Refused to acknowledge his own role in the breakdown. Left his son emotionally devastated. GW. Multiple TikToks and interviews detailing her father's narcissism. She described feeling abandoned and manipulated. She supported her mother's decision to leave. Kody's reaction. He remained silent or changed the subject. Truly's invisibility. Christine's youngest daughter, rarely mentioned by Kody. No visible effort to maintain relationship post-divorce. Another child seemingly erased from his emotional landscape. Leon's distance. Complete withdrawal from relationship with Kody. Supports Meri despite years of mistreatment. No public statements, but volumes spoken by actions. And here's something that isn't talked about enough. The financial consequences to these children because of Kody's emotional abandonment. Various accounts and statements by the family indicate that Kody's financial support has been wildly inequitable. Robyn's household. $1 million mansion in Flagstaff. Ongoing financial support. Nanny services during COVID, despite safety concerns. Apparent priority in family resources. The other children. Christine managing her children's needs independently after the split. Janelle's kids facing financial uncertainty. Questions about college funding and support. The property on Kody Pass sits undeveloped while resources flow elsewhere. This isn't just emotional neglect, it's financial neglect. Kody is using money as another weapon to punish children of women who left him. And let's be clear, much of the Brown family wealth was built on all the wives' labor, all the children's participation in the show, and the image of one big happy family. Each child played a part in building that brand. Yet now, only some children benefit from the resources that participation created. Mystery of Kody Pass. Speaking of which, what's going on with the finances really about that property? Why is the development stalled? Is it because Kody is holding assets hostage as leverage? Is it because equal division would involve acknowledging all his children as equals, and he's just not willing to do it? The property that was supposed to unite one big family has instead become another symbol of Kody's favoritism and failure. Now we have to consider Robyn's part in this, as she is far from the innocent bystander. Robyn has positioned herself as the good wife, the loyal one, the one who never left. What's the cost? She's watched Kody systematically destroy relationships with his other children, and she's done nothing to stop it. In fact, evidence suggests that she has actively encouraged this division. The jealousy timeline. Robyn's insecurity about the other wives has been documented for years. Her tears and fears about the family falling apart while benefiting from its destruction. Her positioning of her own children as more deserving of Kody's time and resources. Manipulation tactics. Crying sessions that redirect Kody's attention. Concerns about the other households that feed his paranoia. Playing the victim when other wives or children challenge the status quo. Never ever holding Kody accountable for his failures as a father. The silent complicity. Sitting silently during family meetings where Kody tears into his other children. Allowing blatant favoritism for her children. Accepting resources that should be given out more equitably. Never using her favored wife status to advocate for the other children. Some view Robyn as a manipulative genius who orchestrated this outcome. Others see her as a weak woman who cannot stand up to Kody. The truth probably lies somewhere in between, but regardless of intent, the result remains the same. She's complicit in the emotional abuse of Kody's other children. Let's talk about what this means for these children long-term, since Kody's abandonment isn't just bringing present pain, it's creating lasting trauma that will affect these kids for decades. Attachment problems. When a parent deliberately withdraws love, kids internalize the rejection. They struggle with trust in relationships in the future, self-worth and confidence, abandonment fears, difficulty in forming healthy attachments, recurring relationship patterns. Children of narcissistic parents often choose partners who replicate that dynamic, struggle to recognize healthy love, either become people pleasers or emotionally distance themselves, fight with anxiety and depression. The therapy bills. All of Kody's older kids are going to need extensive therapy to deal with this abandonment. That's not dramatic, that is a fact. Parental rejection is one of the most profound traumas a person can experience. The cycle breakers, the silver lining? Many of Kody's children are actively breaking these cycles, seeking treatment and healing, speaking openly about the dysfunction, choosing healthier relationships, refusal to emulate their father's behavior. Gwendolyn, Christine's daughter, has shown courage with her calling out of the narcissistic patterns and seeking healing. Gabriel and Garrison have been vulnerable about their pain rather than suppressing it. These are signs of resilience and strength. But here is the tragedy. They're having to parent themselves through this, having to be the grown-ups in this situation since their father refuses to be. But for many viewers, it was the final straw when Kody confessed to deliberately hurting his children, and more importantly, it finally seems to have served as an eye-opening moment for his former wives. Christine's liberation. Christine saw this pattern early and got her children out. She's been criticized for breaking up the family, but she was actually protecting her children from escalating emotional abuse. She was following her instincts, which were correct. She now flourishes with David Woolley, showing her children what healthy love actually looks like. That's not just personal happiness, that is modeling to the next generation. Janelle's slow realization. Janelle took a little longer to realize, probably because she's more emotionally autonomous, and so maybe it wasn't hitting her as strongly at first. But witnessing Kody abandon her sons, especially through the COVID conflict, opened her eyes to who he really is. Her boys needed their father during a vulnerable time, and Kody chose Robyn instead. That wasn't a mistake. That was a choice that revealed his true priorities. Meri, of course, hanged in the longest, enduring years of emotional neglect and crumbs of affection. Why? Likely a combination of religious belief, hope, and trauma bonding. But even Meri eventually reached the realization that Kody was never coming back because he was never there to begin with. All three women are free from a man who views family as a hierarchy of compliance rather than a circle of love. Their children are watching them choose themselves and their well-being. That's powerful. Now, to the million-dollar question, why would Kody admit to feeling nothing for his children and hurting them on purpose? Most abusive parents hide their abuse. They maintain public images. They gaslight victims into doubting their own experiences. So why is Kody doing the opposite? Theory 1. Narcissistic injury. Kody's ego has been devastated by 3 wives leaving him. In his mind, he's the victim of ungrateful women and disloyal children. His confession is actually a twisted kind of punishment. You want to leave me? Fine. I never loved you anyway. It's the emotional equivalent of, you can't fire me, I quit. He is trying to rewrite history, so he's the one who left them, not the other way around. Theory 2. Playing Tio Robyn. By publicly denouncing his other kids, Kody is signaling complete loyalty to Robyn. He's showing her that she and her children are the only real family he has. It's a grand gesture designed to secure his position in the one relationship he has left. Theory 3. Genuine belief. The scariest possibility? Kody actually believes he's the wronged party. His narcissism is so complete that he actually has no understanding why his behavior is abusive. He sees the pain of his children as their own fault for refusing to submit to his authority. Theory 4. Burning bridges. Perhaps Kody is intentionally destroying any possibility of reconciliation. Why? Because reconciliation would require accountability, apology, and change, things he's fundamentally incapable of. By burning bridges publicly, he eliminates the pressure to heal relationships he has no intention of healing. But one thing is undeniably remarkable about Kody's confession. It's united the Sister Wives fandom in a way it never has before. Viewers were previously divided over which wife was right or wrong. Some blamed Christine for leaving. Others defended Meri's choice to stay. Arguments raged about Janelle's approach. But Kody's admission regarding his children? That crossed a line even his most defensive supporters can't excuse. Social media explosion. Twitter/X trending with hashtag Kody Brown is narcissist. Reddit forums explode with testimonies from children of similar parents. TikTok therapists analyzing the psychological abuse. Fan pages calling for TLC to stop platforming the abuse. The shift in narrative. For years, this show made Kody out to be a flawed, but ultimately loving father. Cracks were visible, but the editing of the show often gave him the benefit of the doubt. Not anymore. Editing of the current season shows Kody's behavior with less sugarcoating. His confessions are being aired without protective framing. The audience is being allowed to see the narcissism in full display. This is not an accident. Even TLC appears to know that it can no longer attempt to present Kody as anything other than what he is, an emotionally abusive father who abandons most of his children. Where does this go from here? What's the future for this fractured family? To Kody and Robyn, they will probably dig in deeper with their isolated unit. Robyn's kids will continue to receive all of Kody's attention and resources. They will assume the mantle of faithful remnant while characterizing everybody else as traitors. But here's the problem. Robyn's kids aren't blind. They're watching their father treat their siblings with contempt. They're old enough to understand the dynamics. Will they eventually pull away too? Time will tell. For the abandoned children, the healing process is long, but it's happening. Many have completely cut contact with Kody, entirely a painful but healthy boundary. They're supporting each other through the trauma. They are building lives independent of their father's approval. Some are speaking publicly, helping others identify similar dynamics in their own families. For the show, at this point, Sister Wives has become less about polygamy than it is about one man's spectacular failure as a human being. Will TLC continue to air this dysfunction? Probably. As long as viewers keep watching. But a question of ethics arises. Where does the line between documenting abuse and exploiting it blur? For the former wives, Christine, Janelle, and Meri are thriving in ways they never could under Kody's control. They're finding who they are as individual people. They're modeling strength for their children. And they're proof that it's never too late to leave an abusive situation. Kody's story isn't just about one bad father. It is the systemic problems in patriarchal religious structures that enable this type of abuse. The polygamy structure, polygamy, practiced in different fundamentalist communities, includes unquestioned male authority, women and children as property, spiritual leadership with emotional manipulation, isolation from outside viewpoints, financial control used as a weapon. Kody is a product of this system, but he is also an individual who made choices. He chose cruelty. He chose favoritism. He chose ego over love. The lesson for viewers: many people watching Sister Wives are seeing their own family dynamics in Kody's behavior. Narcissistic parents who play favorites. Fathers who use love as a weapon. Family systems in which compliance is valued over authenticity. Relatives who enable abuse through silence. This show has created a valuable conversation. It's naming abuse that some have experienced. It's validating the pain of abandoned children everywhere. It shows leaving is possible and necessary. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Kody Brown said he feels nothing for his kids and deliberately hurts them. Those aren't words you can take back, actions you can undo. Those are permanent wounds inflicted by a person who is supposed to be a safe harbor. What makes this particularly devastating is that these children didn't ask for this family structure. They didn't choose polygamy. They didn't choose to be born into some kind of reality TV circus. They were children who just wanted their father's love. And in place of love, they received abandonment. In place of support, they received cruelty. And instead of a father, they got a narcissistic individual who sees them as extensions of his ego rather than independent human beings that are worthy of unconditional love. The unvarnished truth: Kody Brown has failed as a father. Not in small ways. Not in everybody makes mistakes ways. He fundamentally, catastrophically failed the most basic requirement of parenthood: to love your children unconditionally. The reason that his confession is not shocking is not because we did not suspect it. We have watched this play out for seasons, but because he said it out loud. He admitted the cruelty. He owned the abandonment. And he feels justified in it. That's not just dysfunction. That's not just narcissism. That's moral bankruptcy. If you're one of Kody Brown's kids and you're watching this, here's what I want you to know. This is not your fault. You didn't cause your father's emotional unavailability. You could not have prevented his abandonment by being better, more compliant, and more understanding. This was never about you. His inability to love you is his failure, not yours. His confession reveals his emptiness, not your worthlessness. You deserved better. You deserved a father who showed up, who put your needs above his ego, who loved you without conditions, who chose you every single time. The fact that you didn't get that father doesn't diminish your value. It reveals his limitation. Keep speaking your truth. Keep setting boundaries. Keep choosing the people who actually show up for you. Keep healing. And know that millions are watching you, believing in you, and hoping for your healing and happiness. Now, what do you think about Kody's shocking admission? Are you Team Christine, Team Janelle, or Team Meri? Do you think there's any path to reconciliation, or are these relationships permanently destroyed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story resonates with you, if you've experienced similar dynamics in your own family, then just know you are not alone. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into sister wives and other reality TV controversies. Remember, recognizing dysfunction is the start to breaking cycles. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and remember, family should be a source of love, not a hierarchy of compliance.